Ah, there we go. Where the hell is... Alright, there we go. Welcome back, everybody, to the season finale here in Brazil. This is the second time, I believe, we have come to Brazil. It was the season finale in Season 1, and we are back again 2 seasons later for the final race of Season 3. The title has been confirmed, both going to Red Bull and KP Games, so it's all just about having fun in this last race, although we do have a title fight between, not a title fight, a fight for P5 between Alfa Romeo, Alpine and Haas, so it'll be good to see who comes out on top for that P5 behind the top 4 teams. But out on track at the moment, we have quite a few drivers. Mike coming to start his lap. BRT JC, the man who won in USA last time out. He secured the victory ahead of both Red Bulls, who boxed for softs late on in the race. KP got caught out on the hard tyre and dropped down to P4. So debut victory for him, but this week back in the Alfa Romeo for the last time. Obviously next season, new drivers, new teams, new team principals, new faces in the paddock as Kyoto goes fastest with a 1:11.4, and I'm sure we will be seeing a lot faster as Rados does a 1:09.5. We'll stay on board with Pampoli as he comes to the end of his lap through and into the last sector now, following quite closely behind Saeed in the Aston Martin, who has been loaned, I believe, from Alpine. So there we go. Mike goes to the top with a 1:08.7, 2.5 tenths quicker than his teammate Pampoli, crossing the line and goes up into P2, just a tenth behind as Watermelon smashes them both out of the park and goes into P1 for the moment. A decent time from the Alpine of Josh, who's secured 5 DNFs from 5 races this season. So hopefully for his last race in Division 1, he can at least make it to the checkered flag. But Gagli now goes to the top with a 1:08.0. I believe we have a little bit of traffic going on the first DRS straight, and Ollie De Boy getting caught up behind Alpine, who manages to get out of the way. But yeah, good to see who will come out on top here. So mostly quite a lot of corners, especially in the middle sector, which might suit the Mercedes or Ferrari a bit more than the Red Bull. But obviously you do have the long back straight down into turn 1, which can be a good overtaking spot come race day. I believe we have rain towards the end of the race, so that could lead to an interesting finish. But staying on board with a few of the drivers for their first laps. Mink currently in P5, pulling back into the pit lane. And there is Ollie De Boy just starting his lap. So for the final time in the RB18 for him, he is being demoted to Tier 2 next season for obviously many go to school. Stop being in chat. Going demoted to Div 2 for reasons. So last time out for him, we can see if he can score points in the Red Bull. Most drivers have set their lap times. We are still waiting on OTLR Jack, KP, Thomas, who has crashed out, I believe, and Ollie the boy. So we wait on them, as OTLR Jack is in the middle sector now. So everyone, talk about our epic season coming up. Our epic season, what? Div 1 or Div 2? What do you mean? As OTLR Jack comes round the left bend, I think he is pulling into the pit lane. No, he's just taking a shorter route to the line, and he goes up into P13. So not the greatest time from the Alfa Romeo. He'll be looking to improve on that come his second run. But we still have a few drivers out on track. Most of them gone into the pit lane. Ollie the boy only in P15 for the moment. I don't know whether he's on a second lap. I believe he is, so we'll stay on board with him and see if he can improve on that P15. Currently on the edge of the drop zone. We have 10 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this queue. Sorry, I haven't even explained. So one session here today. So it's all about setting good lap times in this one session. Gagli is currently on provisional pole position, as it's a sprint format for this race. So it will be one qualifying session, and then I believe it's a 12-lap sprint, and then obviously move on to the main race sprint, deciding the grid slots for that race. So obviously, if you do qualify low, you can make up places in the sprint, as we now have almost everyone in the pit lane, but the Line Cookie and Mink have headed back out onto the circuit for second runs. I assume on fresh tyres you can probably get about 3 different tyre runs in an 18-minute session. So Mink using his second pair. We have both the McLarens and the Alfa Romeos now out on track. I believe Mink spun at the end of last race and finished in a P7, but he was fighting for P5. I think it was in the second sector he spun it, going side by side with the Alpha Tauri. But can you still join? No, Lewis is joining soon, I think. So he'll take the other Ferrari spot. But Mink now on his second lap, coming through the Senna S and opening up the DRS for the first time. We have now both Hasses out on track, 2 McLarens, a Williams and an Alfa Romeo of BRT JC, who's currently P3, 3/10 off the Ferrari of Gagli. That just shows esports pace. I'm on my way home. You better be quick, because if you don't make qualifying, then you can't. I don't think you can join the race. I don't think it lets you. I will join just starting first. No. Last. Clutch up. Mink goes purple middle sector, but that is personal best as Reese Thomas, I believe, having a little spin on. It should probably let him in the sprint if it's before it. I don't know how it works. I know for qualifying, you miss the 18-minute session, then you can't join in Q2, because you can't take over an AI car, because it's already been knocked out. That's the only problem. As Mink improves to P4, and we both now have Hasses out on track. The Line Cookie now pushing himself up into P7, so good position for him. The team is fighting for P5 are Alfa Romeo on 72 points, Alpine on 71 and Haas on 67, so separated by 5 points. At the moment Alpine have the upper hand, but there is an Alfa Romeo in P2, which I would say is unfair, but you never know. T-Crombie in P11 on his second push lap, but has invalidated. Where's the co-comment? There wasn't one. There wasn't a co-commentator tonight. Is KP doing last first? No, I think he is coming out the garage soon enough. OTLR Jack going onto a second push lap. So we see how he can tackle the Brazilian circuit through the Senna S. Currently P13, so he'd like to improve on that time. The Red Bulls do need to improve on their positions. KP yet to set a lap time. He has 6 minutes remaining. Maybe doing a last first, I don't know. I'll ask him. Watermelon now promotes himself up into P2. I believe he has set the exact same lap time. Talk about margins. He is 1,000th of a second off of Gagli's time. So unfortunate for him. Wants pole position, he'll have to go for a third lap. As KP still not out of the pit lane. So find out what's going on there. So KP, I don't think will be leaving the garage, so he will be starting in P18. OTLR Jack 5/10 down. He has improved to P11 from his P13, so small improvement for him. His teammate is currently P3. Reese Thomas coming to the end of his second lap in P10 at the moment, but he is going to pull into the pit lane and put on a new set of tyres. We have Coyote out on the track. Saeed and Coyote P16 and 17 at the moment, so I don't think they'll be too happy with their performance. Like to get higher up the field. Ollie De Boy as well on his lap. As we come in to the last 5 minutes of the session, only 2 drivers currently out on track, both on push laps, so we can see what kind of improvements they can do. Kota is coming into the final sector, 3.5 tenths up on his previous delta, but that will only be good enough for P17 still. He needs a bigger improvement as we come closing in on the 4-minute mark of this session. He crosses the line and stays in P17, still 5 tenths off of his teammate, so he's going to need a big improvement if he wants to pop off that P17 position. Ollie De Boy has invalidated his lap, only a 10.5 up, but invalidates, so whether he has enough fuel or not, he does. But his tyres are already a lap old, so 2 laps old if you include the out lap. But only 2 Aston Martins for the moment, but there is movement in the pit lane, and I believe that is Fred Parsons coming out of the lane, as well as T. Crombie. 3 minutes remaining, and we still haven't got a lot of drivers on the circuit. Is there anyone else making a move in the pit lane? At the moment, the answer is no. And just under 3 minutes to go. I think people are going to come out. There is movement from the Mercedes of Mink. Mink is now out, and we have some more movement. McLaren, both McLarens coming out, as well as the Williams. So they are both now on track. Ollie De Boy coming to the end of his lap, 2/10 improvement so far, and stays in P15 for the moment. So no improvement from Ollie. Saeed on his outlap, but has invalidated. And Kota is going to find himself in a little bit of traffic. So So we will go in the rear wing of T. Crombie for his final lap in qualifying. See how he can tackle this Brazilian. So I'm not laughing at Ollie. P15 and a Red Bull's pretty good. But we carry on with T. Crombie tackling the first part of the Senna S pretty well. Tackling a little bit of traffic from his teammate as he carries on towards the second sector now. More technical sector with a lot of slow speed corners. So you really need to keep it within the white lines and get your foot down at the right moment. We have all drivers except the two that crashed out on track at the moment, and I think Ted is going to be the first man to cross the line. We have an Aston Martin spun on the side of the track. He's not going to be an interference for the Haas. He has 3.5 tenths up on his previous Delta. Can he put this car into the top 10? Toyota disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. And we can see what this means for T. Crombie. Can he improve on his time? He goes up into P8 ahead of his teammate. A good lap from him. Fred Parsons now across the line. He invalidates, and we have a few more drivers crossing. I can't keep up with all of them. Red Cow Racing is starting his lap. OTLR Jack is crossing the line. I don't think 4.5 tenth improvement, but he stays in P12. Mink has spun it on his lap. Fatey beached it, is what he said in chat. So no improvement for him. Saeed is going to go into the pit lane. Can BRTJC cross the line and take provisional pole position? He crosses the line and goes into first for now, but we still have a few drivers that need to complete their lap. Reese Thomas stays P11. Where is the Ferrari and the Mercedes? Watermelon has invalidated his lap time. Gagley is in the second sector at the moment. Can he deny the Alfa Romeo a pole position here? He still has about half of the circuit to go, and he's going to pick up a little bit of traffic from the Alfa Romeo ahead of him. That is OTLR Jack, so we can see if he'll be a nuisance to him or whether he'll just give him a tow down the back straight as Gagley now comes to the start-finish straight. Can he put his Ferrari on pole position for the first time in Brazil? He crosses the line now and stays in P2. So an esports Alfa Romeo driver takes home pole position for the sprint here in Brazil. It's going to be closed out by Gagley P2, Watermelon in P3. Pampoli gets himself up into P4, Mike P5. I don't think he improved on his last lap. Mink P6, Josh in P7, Red Cow Racing in P8 in the Alpha Tauri, and then come the two houseboys P9 and 10. Reese Thomas in P11, OTR Jack in P12, Rados and Fred Parsons, the two Williams in P13 and 14. Ollie De Boy couldn't improve on his P15, and then Saeed and KP, who did not complete a lap, starts P17. Thomas and Kyoto in P18 and 19 after getting disqualified and crashing out. So that is your qualifying. I don't know why so many cars are still going round. Hopefully it'll end in a sec. There we go. So there we go then. The Alfa Romeo on pole position for the sprint here in Brazil. A tenth and a half to Gagley P2. And then comes Watermelon P3, Pampoli in P4, Mike P5. Mink finishes in P6. Then comes Josh in P7. A good result for him. Red Cow Racing then in P8. And then come the two Hasses in P9 and 10. Reese Thomas, P11. OTR Jack in P12. Failing to improve enough on his last lap. Ray Dodge and Fred Parsons, P13 and 14 in the Williams. A good result for them is then Ollie the Boy in the Red Bull. Saeed, P16. And then come the people who did not set a lap time. That is qualifying. And it is dark clouds over the Sao Paulo circuit. I don't believe we have formation lap on. So straight from the get-go. And it's not 5 red lights. Oh no, we do have formation lap. Please give rain way more editing. I think it will be... What the fuck am I talking about? I think it will be rain towards the end of the main race. So, not the start. But come the end of the race, there will be some rain. So not the sprint, not start the race, at the end of the main race. So no pit stops here, no mandatory pit stops. Obviously, if you break a wing, pick up damage, you can pull into the pit lane, swap a wing out and go back to racing. But for now, it's not the optimal strategy. We only have 12 laps ahead of us, so a very quick stint. Only a third of the actual race, so more racing laps. Stream is normal. So we will see how it goes. Gagley starting from P2. Can he get the jump on BRT JC? Or will Watermelon strike from P3 in the Mercedes? No Red Bull inside the top 14. KP doing a loss first. Challenge down in P17. What can he do from the back of the grid? The 3-time world champion. Is it going to be another special race from him? As Ollie the Boy misplaces his car. And we can go to 5 red lights for the second to last time in Season 3. We are waiting. And we can get to 5 red lights. Ahead of the drivers. And the lights are out, and BRT JC gets a good start, but Gagley is already alongside him. He slips back, though, in the second phase. Watermelon makes a position into turn 1. Gagley down to P3, and there's Mike going off at the first corner. He's dropped to P11, and there's Carnage in the midfield. The Alpines up into P4 and 5. Mink down in P6. Red Cow Racing picking up a place or two, but Mike drops to the back, and he's already got Rados on his gearbox. KP already making moves up into P13. Mike is currently P11. He's going side by side with the Williams coming out of the 4th corner. Can he get the move done? We'll go back to the front though. BRT JC gets the jump, and he is in P1 for now. Watermelon already making a move on Gagley up into P2. Can he put the pressure on the Alfa Romeo in these opening laps? It's on lap 3 that we unlock DRS, so There's not going to be any of that for now, but Rhys Thomas gets down the inside of T. Crombie. Actually gets down the inside of him as they make contact. T. Crombie goes spinning off into the barriers. Rhys Thomas involved in another collision, having to go off into the grass, and that pushes Ollie Du Bois, off into the grass as well as he drops to P17. The Line Cookie also been involved in a collision. He is down to P17, and Watermelon keeping it close for now, but Gagley is on his gearbox and coming out of the centre S's. Can he get a move done into the next left-hander? Watermelon makes his move to the inside, trying to defend. Gagley looking for a pass, can't find a place, so has to stick behind for now. But the Alpines up to P4 and 5. Josh already making up 3 positions. Mink staying P6 for now. And there is T. Crombie losing a position to Toyota in the Aston Martin, maybe picking up rear wing damage as he goes spinning off into the barriers for a second time. And I think that Haas is undrivable after the contact with Rhys Thomas. I didn't quite see what happened there. I think they just collided in the back of each other. But it has resulted in major damage for the Haas, who might have to retire in this sprint. Watermelon holding P2, but he has to defend from Gagley. Can he put the pressure, though, on BRTJC, who has got 87% ERS? Gagley already on 47%. Watermelon only on 26%. And this could get very interesting when we open up the DRS, but yet again Gagley gets the exit of the centre S's. He looks closer this time, though. He has the DRS. Can he make the move on the Merc? And he's going to go pull to the inside, but doesn't quite make the move as T. Crombie, as expected, pulls into the pit lane with that rear wing damage and boxes. But look at Gagley, look at Watermelon going around the outside of BRTJC. Can he get that move done? He's going all the way outside. He gets the move done on the outside. They're still side by side, though. BRTJC holding it on the inside. Can he get the move done? BRTJC holding it all the way around the outside and swoops past the Merc to retake that P1 position. Gagley also having a go at Watermelon. Watermelon defending for his life and trying to attack as well at the same time. The Alpines following closely. Watermelon again is going to get the DRS as we head towards the centre S's for the 4th time. And will Gagley put the pressure on into turn 1, or will he hold back and look for a move in the second DRS zone? For now, though, Watermelon getting closer and closer to that Alfa Romeo, and you can see they're separated by 4/10, the front 3, and through the centre S as they go. Gagley losing a bit of time, but on the exit he regains it, and they are both separated by 3/10. Watermelon going to try put the pressure on. He's not using any ERS, but he has a major straight line speed advantage on that Alfa Romeo. Ollie Du Bois picks up a 3-second time penalty. He's currently sat in P17, and Gagley is still trying to look for an opening on Watermelon. They have created a small gap to the Alpines behind them. KP already making his way up into P6. But it's a good fight at the front for the moment. We're only on lap 4 of this 12-lap sprint. So they are both fighting for a pole position as Gagley almost taken to the grass, trying to go around the outside of Watermelon. We have yellow sector 2, that is the Aston Martin of Saeed, spinning round in one of the hairpin corners. But Watermelon losing a bit of time to the Alfa Romeo, who holds his P1 onto the 5th lap now, as KP makes a move on Josh on the straight. And again they are separated by 6/10 as Gagley gets a brilliant exit off the centre S. They are separated by a 10th. He's going to pull to the inside. They're going to go side by side into the next corner. Watermelon not getting the DRS, has to drop back into P3. Ollie Du Bois now retires from the session in P17, and Gagley makes his way up into P2. Sorry about the midfield fight, but this one at the front is a good one, and BRTJC having to defend for his life at the moment. He's still 71% ERS. Gagley recharging to 51, and Watermelon, it looks like he is on 33%, so the lowest of the 3 drivers at the moment. And if he wants to stay in this fight, he's going to have to stick close with the DRS in the correct zones. Gagley separated by 4.5 tenths to the leader. He's going to gain some time back though on the straight with the power of the Ferrari engine, the Ferrari engine. But of course, he does have the performance increases. He's going to go to the move into turn 1. Can he get that move done? Down the inside goes the Ferrari and up into P1 ahead of the Alfa Romeo. But who gets the DRS? Is it going to be the Alfa Romeo? And is he going to fight back into turn 4? As we head now on the DRS straight, he's going to pull to the outside. Can he go all the way around the outside of the Ferrari? He manages to pull it off. And BRTJC is back into P1. Gagli separated by a tenth. He's going to go round the outside now as BRTJC gets pushed to the inside. Gagli looking for that undercut, but doesn't quite manage to pull it off, and he has to stick behind as we enter the second sector again. And Watermelon losing a bit of time to the front two. Gagli putting on the pressure to this man, and we still have 36 laps after this of racing action all the way to the checkered flag as KP has made his way up into P4, already making up 13 places. So will he become a component of this fight in the main race? Gagli though going to look for a move into turn 1 again. He's going to stay behind. He's learnt his lesson from the last one. He's going to try get the second DRS and make the move again. As he now opens up that DRS, he is close to the Alfa Romeo, 10.5 separating them. He pulls to the inside. Can he get that move done down the inside? This time it's a lot easier for the Ferrari, and he pulls ahead into P1. BRTJC still only a tenth behind, and these two are so evenly matched. Of course, BRTJC is in an Alfa Romeo, but great racecraft from the both of them. Watermelon still keeping his nose in, 5 tenths behind, gaining a bit of time in the middle sector, but on the straights he does lose out a bit. KP is only 1.4 behind and looking very likely to make this a 4-way fight for the victory as we get into the main race. But yet again we have a DRS zone and the gap is only 4.5 tenths. Can Gagli defend this down the straight? Neither of them using any ERS for the second as we go on board with BRTJC, gaining that time back on the straight, and the gap now is only 2.5 tenths. As into the centre as we go, gets a lovely exit, and he's going to be all over the back of that Ferrari, but he does lose a bit of time, goes a bit wide, and he's dropped 6 tenths back. Is this Watermelon's chance? He's going to look for it, but he's going to be too far back for now. Not really. No, sharp. Driver's point isn't going to count. Watermelon though is very close now to BRTJC. Maybe his tyres have started to deplete. And he's losing a bit of time to Gagli, who is pulling away a bit in the middle part of the circuit, but he is still going to get the DRS, and he's only 7 tenths behind for now, as Saeed also retires in the pit lane. OTLR Jack is currently scrapping away with the Aston Martin. There's not a lot going on in the midfield. Red Cow Racing putting a bit of pressure on Josh. Is he going to look for a move into the first corner? Not yet, but we'll stay on board and see if he can get the move done. Into turn 4 as he gets the DRS for the first time on this lap, and pulling to the inside, red light flashing. He's going to go for the move. Josh holds it on the outside. They're going to go side by side. Can they keep it clean between the two of them? There's no contact made between the two of them yet, but they're going to carry this battle on all the way up the hill as Josh has that inside line. Has Red Cow had to pull out? Yes, for now is the answer, and he stays in P7. But we still have 3 laps of racing to decide the grid for Sunday's 36 laps. So do stick around. Hopefully more of this in the race as BRTJC once again gets the DRS. Gagli not able to pull that 1 second gap over the short lap that is Brazil. Watermelon is also now going to be put under pressure from KP who has made up moves from the back of the grid. And he's going to get a good exit here, and he's only 4/10 back from the Mercedes. For now, he's going to be too far, but I'm sure on the next lap he can maybe get himself into a podium position or a P3 start for the race. Obviously, there are points available for this sprint. I can't remember the format. Is it 10 for a win? I don't know. It's beyond me. As again, there's a DRS train forming behind Gagli. BRTJC uses a bit of ERS to start the lap, to start the straight, sorry, but not a lot extra. KP is 2.5 back from the Mercedes. Is he going to look for the move? He's going to pull to the outside of turn 1. Is he going to make a sweeping move on the Mercedes? For now, he has to stick behind, take a compromised line in out of the turn 3 exit, and is now going to pick up that DRS for turn 4, but no moves to be done for now. Frustrating behind Watermelon. Watermelon 14% ERS, KP 17. BRTJC still has I can't read that, 36, 40, and then Gagli has 54%. So conserving well. Is KP gets really close in the middle part of the lap. There's no way he's that far back. As Fred Parsons picks up a 3-second time penalty, as there's a train formed behind Josh. So we'll see how that pans out, as they are all now flashing their lights. Watermelon and KP, that is. As BRTJC is going to look for the move as we enter the final lap of this sprint, and he has closed up a lot on that straight, and he now gets the exit. Can he get the move done? He loses a bit of time though, and the gap has risen to 4/10. KP though close to the back of Watermelon. Can he pull to the outside of turn 4 and get the move done? They go side by side. KP can't manage to get the move done, but can he get the exit on the Mercedes and get that move done? He's going to pull to the outside of turn 6, but doesn't quite manage to get the move done, as we have a Fred Parsons spun coming out of turn 3, and he is going to drop back to P14, maybe even P15 if Jack can get the move. But for now, it looks like Gagli has the sprint sorted. The gap is 4.5 and as the final proper corner comes to a close, BRTJC is going to get the DRS, but I think he has enough ERS to hold this to the line, and Gagli is going to start from pole position for the Sunday race here in Brazil. Gagli takes home the sprint victory, the first victory in his DLRL career. BRTJC drops 1 place from pole position, but P2 doesn't sound too bad in an Alfa Romeo. Watermelon in P3. KP doesn't quite manage to get it done on the Mercedes. They're separated by 0.5 crossing the line. He makes up 13 positions though in 12 laps. Pampoli P5, Josh in P6, and a good sprint from the Alpines. Surely they have that title wrapped, the P5 wrapped up. As KP gets driver of the day. As Gagli takes home the victory. So there is the points. 8 for the victory. BRTJC 7, Watermelon 6, KP gets 5, Pampoli, Josh combined total of 7, Red Cow 2, and Mink picks up 1 point for finishing in P8. But that is your grid order for the race. T. Crombie starting in P19 because of an incident between him, Reese Thomas, and the Lion Cookie. So I'd like to see what happened there. But there we go then. The end of the sprint session. is now to the main race. And it's a more sunny Sunday. I don't know whether we do have rain. I think there might be rain like right at the end. But saying there is going to be rain towards the end of the session, so it could make for an interesting finish. But that is all to come. We have 36 laps ahead of us for the main race. And this time, the Alfa Romeo and Ferrari have swapped positions for the main race. And we can head trackside. Sorry. We can head trackside for the race. So Gagli on pole position. Said and Tikonbi have already been disqualified. Gagli on pole position, BLT JC P2, Watermelon P3, KP P4, and then Pampoli rounding out the top 5. So I do believe we have rain at the end of the session, but that's going to be like right at the end. So hopefully it will come in time for a rain wet ending. But you never know. You never know. As we come on to start finish straight, KP made up 13 positions in the sprint race. He starts from P4. He's going to be a one to watch for the challenge for victory, but he does have to get past a Mercedes, which he failed to do in the sprint, and then two incredibly fast drivers inside the front two who were battling it out in the sprint. But once again, I can't see the lights, and we can wait to see what kind of start the drivers can get as we head to 5 red lights for the Brazilian Grand Prix. And the lights are out, and Gagli seemed to get a better start than BRTJC, but BRTJC has already moved up into the lead. Watermelon making a move down the inside, and the leader has almost lost 2 positions, but he fights back against Watermelon, back up into P2, but he's going to be under pressure as we enter into the 4th corner, as Ollie De Boy has already spun it. KP Games makes the move on the Merc, and is he going to make a double overtake on the Ferrari? Not now. He's going to stay behind. The Line Cookie making up places. Down the inside goes the Line Cookie on Thomas, who pushes him off track, and Thomas has to rejoin in P10, a position down. Watermelon, though, start in P3 and drop the position to KP as we look at the positions gained. So from P5 to P8 staying the same, and there's Line Cookie making up 3 positions, Thomas making up 1, Mike dropping 2, F1 Lewis picking up 6 positions from the back of the grid. And we can focus now on the leaders. BRTJC gets ahead of Gagli. Again, gets the better launch off the lights. Gagli slacking a bit from pole position, but he's going to get a good exit off the final corner And is he going to look for a move into the first corner? The gap shrinking all the time. 1.5 tenths. Can he make that move down the inside? He's going to go for it down the inside. The Alfa Romeo holding it on the inside. Gasly is going to turn to the inside for the next corner. Can he get the move done as KP Games comes flying around the outside of both of them? Can he get the move done? The double overtake on both the Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari. Into turn 4 he goes. He's going to get the move done as the Alfa Romeo stays ahead of the Ferrari. They're going to go side by side into the next corner. Who's going to come out on top? BRT JC has to lose the position to the Ferrari. He's down into P3. KP makes his way up into P1. Where the hell did he come from in that battle? He just flung it around the outside of both of them, held it, and has got both the places on the Ferrari and Alfa Romeo. But now he has to hold this lead for the next 34 laps. We know the pace of the 3-time world champion, but is it going to be good enough to hold it against an esports driver and a fellow Ferrari competitor? He sets the fastest middle sector of the lap. Gasly using the ERS, staying close to the Red Bull. Are we going to look for a move into the first corner? We're going to get DRS as we enter the next lap into turn 4 as KP sets the fastest lap of the race. Gasly and enticingly close too as KP gets a poor exit. Gasly has to lean off the throttle, and Watermelon has now overtaken BRT JC as well as he has got the move done into the first corner. DRS is now active. Gasly a tenth behind as we go into turn 4. No moves being done for now, but we still have a lot of time left in this race. The midfield fight is getting quite juicy for that position. P5 in the championship as Fred Parsons makes a move on OTR Jack into turn 4. The line cookie and T Crombie currently sat outside the points in P11 and 12, but it's a good comeback so far for T Crombie. F1 Lewis has picked up damage and has had to box, so he is going to be out of the equation. But Gasly staying within 3/10 of our leader in the Red Bull, and he gets a good exit off that final corner. And yet again, he's going to pick up the DRS, and he's going to be really close to the back of the Red Bull. Is he going to look for the move into turn 1? He's so close. He almost has to into the first corner. He leans off the throttle. He's going to wait for that second DRS zone. He's learnt from his battle with BRT JC. Is it going to come back to help him, though, as he's going to pick up the DRS again as we enter lap 4 of this race? Can he make a move into the next corner? He's going to be too far back for now the Red Bull straight line speed, edging him out for the moment. Watermelon has also gained some good time on the leaders. BLT JC slacking a bit. He's going to fall into the clutches of Pampoli if he loses any more time, as Mink is antagonizingly close to Red Cow Racing. Is he going to make a move into the next session? No is the answer, as OTR Jack has desynced, currently sat in P16. So hopefully he joins back and joins the battle again. I'm not inviting Jack, I'm commentating it. As Gasly is going to get the DRS again on lap 4 this time. He looks a bit too far back, but the Ferrari does have decent straight line speed, so we can watch and see if he can gain on this straight and then make the move after the Senna S. Watermelon within 5/10 of the leaders. BRT JC has lost DRS to the top guys, as Gasly is going to be close. Watermelon also picking up a bit of time, and BRT JC has lost a bit of pace as Pampoli has come within 4/10 of him now, as Mink has got the move done on Red Cow Racing. But Red Cow Racing might look for the outside of the next corner. He's only a tenth behind and was pushing the Mercedes into the corner, but he does stay behind for now. I'm just going to invite Jack really quickly. Where is his ass? He ain't even online. I can't lie, I can't do that right now. I can't see him. If he's online, he's online. I can't see him. Anyway, Gasly is within 1.5 tenths, almost looking for a move into that first sector, first corner, but he does stick behind for now. Gasly still looking for a pass on the Red Bull, staying behind for a few laps. And he is within 1/10, and he's going to go down the inside of the Red Bull. That move was late, and he's going to push KP off the track and get that move done out of the turn 5 exit. And KP is now dropped down into P2, and this is a good battle between Gagli and KP. KP showing us the pace at the start, but Gagli showing the racecraft to be able to keep with KP and eventually make the move into turn 4. But Watermelon allows him to gain a bit of time on the leaders, not substantial enough though. BRTJC pace has gone out the window, but he is on hard tyres, which is one thing we have not talked about. Him along with Red Cow, Rados and Ollie De Boy on the hards. He's on the... KP has lost a lot of time. Ugh, fuck you, Dave, honestly. Right, he's invited. KP losing a bit of time to Gagli in the middle sector, so maybe Gagli does have the pace on the Red Bull. But that is... this battle could be going on for the whole race here. They are definitely wearing each other's tyres out more than they are to BRTJC, who is being put under a lot of pressure by Pampoli. Pampoli just behind him, 4.5 tenths the gap in the middle sector. But BRTJC gaining a lot of time as... fuck, oh my god. I thought that Lewis was Gagli and that he'd spun, because there was a Red Bull going off in the distance. As we now have the safety car is out for the Lion Cookie. Oh my god. The Lion Cookie out of the session. He is spun on the edge of the corner. And that definitely puts Haas's chances for P5 in the Constructors to rest. But a lot of people choosing to pit, Watermelon being one of them. I don't know why is A. Dawson in here? You really thought you were about to join. Bro, you literally left the league. Yeah, funny whoever invited him. Too bad he can't race. Yeah, get out. As we now halt the session back to safety car conditions. I'm not quite sure when the pit window is for the mediums. I don't read it. What a hectic first 8 laps that was of the race. We do find ourselves with a Ferrari in the lead, which has not been a familiar sight in Season 3. It has been mostly Red Bull dominated. Yeah, Ferrari have not won a race. The only other people to win a race, except from KP, is Red Cow Racing in Monaco, Watermelon in Netherlands in Zandvoort, and BRTJC last time out in the Red Bull in Austin. Lap 9, we're still under safety car. I believe it will be the lap after this. Might be this lap. Well, safety car is in this lap. So not a lot of warning for the drivers. And not a lot of time for Gagley to plan out how he's going to sort out this safety car restart. But as he slows down the grid, waits for the safety car to pull into the pit lane. And when can he get the jumpers? There's a Williams spinning round at the back. As Gagley is now gone, got the jump. BRT JC is going to go to the outside of KP. KP sleeping on that restart. Can BRT JC get this move done? He's going to hold it all the way around the outside of the Red Bull, which turns to the inside for the next corner, but can't manage to get that move done. Josh and Red Cow Racing scrapping it out for P5. Mike also getting involved in that battle. T. Crombie looking for the move on the McLaren. He pulls to the inside. Can he get that move done? Mike is going to try hold it around the outside, but T. Crombie does get that move done and up into P6 for the Haas. Red Cow Racing still putting the pressure onto Josh, but he's losing a bit of time, and T. Crombie has come alive after putting, not pitting. I don't think he pitted. He might have. No, so he has not pitted. And these mediums, after he's been bunched up, have come alive for him. He's up into P6 looking for P5 as Ollie gets another 3-second time penalty. And Gagley has expanded his gap to 1 second on the Red Bull. So although he does have that amazing straight line speed, that Ferrari, he's also pretty handy in the corners. So we'll focus on the midfield battle and what kind of progress Watermelon can make through the field, as he has to pass a lot of cars if he wants to catch back up to the two leaders. Would it have been a smart idea to pit? He has come out in a lot of traffic and he's going to have to fight through the top half of the midfield as we go on board with Mike, still looking for a move back past the Haas, as Watermelon now gets down the inside. So he came from quite far back, but he has now put himself up into P6. T. Crombie is now going to have to defend from him, while also attack the Red Cow, the AlphaTauri of Red Cow Racing, who is on hard tyres. So he will have a tyre advantage. Again, I don't know the pit window or when these medium tyres will fall off a cliff, or if they do indeed fall off a cliff, but Watermelon looking for the move, almost pushing the Haas through the corners on those new hard tyres. Hopefully they don't make any contact, as Watermelon is going to have to hold out for the straight to get the move done on this Haas. He has pretty handy straight line speed, does the Mercedes. So as we go down the back straight, he is going to get that move done on the Haas into turn 1. As T. Crombie is going to hold it around the outside, but does slot into that position as Pam Polly and Mike going side by side, and we are under safety car again for a reason I don't know. There's nobody's. How are these three at the back again? Ollie the boy retires. Why did you fuck do you retire? It's literally a safety car and you've got 24 laps. Oh my god, I've got such a snotty nose. Because Gagley now pits along with KP, so he pulls the trigger. BRT JC also coming in, so it'll be interesting to see if he does go into the mediums, maybe even the soft, to make it into a 2-stop. As the Alfa Romeo is going to go on to mediums. So a confusing stop, and this is played perfectly into the hands of Watermelon, who now leads the Grand Prix. His tyres may be about 5 laps older than the rest. They are indeed 5 laps older. For some reason, paid Kyoto whatever his name is staying out on mediums. Confusing. But Waterman now leads, and it's a Mercedes 1-3 at the moment. Reece Thomas in P4, but he is on older hard tyres, so it'll be interesting to see the progress that the top 3 could make on the 5 cars ahead of them, which could make this race a bit more interesting, although we do have a good title fight already. Have 2 laps, and the safety car is Thomas is now into the pit lane for new old hard tyres, so coming back out on 5-lap old tyres. Don't know where he got those from. For days. Maybe Pampoli can challenge for a victory. As we are now going to get a safety car restart. As we now get info from race control, safety car in this lap. And we can go back to green flag conditions whenever Watermelon wants to make the jump. KP Gagli, P7 and 6. BLTJC now on mediums in P8, so maybe he can now come back at them. As Watermelon is going to start the charge in a few seconds, as Pampoli will be side by side with him. As we go to green flag conditions. And he is gone, and Pampoli, after going side by side, has got a terrible exit here. Mink also with a terrible exit. He's going to be under pressure from 2 drivers, almost picking Reece Thomas into the pit lane, as Gagli is going to look for the move down the inside of Reece Thomas. He's now going to take it to the outside of Coyote, and he's going to get boxed in between 2 drivers here. KP losing a position to BRT-JC, but he is going to have the straight line speed to hold it in front of the Alpha, but he doesn't, and the Alpha swoops through into P7. Gagli making up 1 position so far, going to look for the move on Reece Thomas on the outside and gets that move done. So he's already put 3 cars between him and KP, but BRT-JC has made up a few positions as well, as Mike now drops down to P13, OTR Jack to P15, and the Watermelon is running away with this a little bit, as he has already got a 1.2 second gap to Pampoli. Mink has dropped 2.1 seconds, but he is only 9/10 behind, as Gagli is now really close to the back of the Mercedes. And where can he look for a move? They're almost going into each other on the straight. Mink eventually has to yield that position into turn 1, and I think it's going to be an easy move, but Mink is going to send it back in the inside, but he doesn't. He stays behind for now, and he is dropped to P4. As in the back there is racing action between T. Crombie and F1 Lewis, who F1 Lewis is going to try and get the jump down the inside. Is the straight line speed of the Ferrari going to help him out into turn 4. He does get the place done, and T. Crombie is now down into P11. You got to remember, some people like T. Crombie have boxed for new tyres, whereas most people are on the 7-lap-old tyres from the first safety car window. So all dependent on where you first boxed, as Gagley is now putting the pressure on Pampoli, who sits in a very nice P2 for the moment. KP losing a bit of time to BLTJC, who has come alive on the medium tyres. We have a spin for Fred Parsons, and also F1 Lewis, who's going side by side with Rados, has to give up that position. And Gagley is now going to look for the move on the Alpine down the inside into turn 1. Can he get this place done on the Alpine? He does. So into the first corner on lap 17, he gets up into P2, and he's only 1 place away now from Watermelon, who has created quite a nice gap to him, as BLTJC also looking for the move on the Mercedes into turn 4. Gets that move done. KP is now going to be the next guy that Mink has to worry about. But for now, he sticks behind, and he's going to have to wait for a DRS zone to get that done. Pampoli currently sat in P3, so not losing a lot of places on that start, and it's a pretty good safety car restart for him. He's been put under pressure though by BLTJC, who has already got a 1 second gap to KP. But KP now with 65% ERS, looking at that rear wing of the Mercedes, and he's going to look for the move into turn 1 as he pulls to the outside. Mink defending the inside. Can he get that move done around the outside? There's side by side between both of them, as BLTJC is going to pull around the outside of Pampoli. KP also getting around the outside of Mink, so there's moves all over the place in the top 6, and the order currently stands at Watermelon, Gagley, BLTJC, Pampoli, KP and Mink, closing out the top 6 as Red Cow Racing now gets up the inside of the Mercedes. The Mercedes lost a lot of pace on this race start. He's dropped 4 positions from the handy P3 he was in already, as there's quite a big midfield fight. OTR Jack has been spun round as 4 cars separated by merely a couple of tenths, as Thomas now goes wide over the bumps, comes back on the track in P16. Maybe there is damage to his wing. His left front end plate has broken. We are exactly halfway through this race, coming up to lap 19 now. Watermelon has a decent gap to Gagley, 1.6 seconds, but Gagley is clawing back that time that he lost when he boxed later on the second safety car. KP now also gets the move done on Pampoli, so very nicely done by him, and we can move on as Saeed losing a few places. As the order is now taking shape. KP at the back of the 4 that were fighting it out in the sprint. And Gagley losing a bit of time again to Watermelon. So Watermelon, even though he's on 11 lap old hards, is showing decent pace, and there's some clouds starting to form over the Interlagos circuit. So maybe we could see some rain here in this race. Oh my god, sorry, Pampoli has spun, I believe, and dropped back to P12, and now being put under pressure by the Williams into turn 1. That does hold that place for now. Red Cow Racing now looking to the outside of Mink and gets that move done. And would you look at that, Josh retires from the session, making it a consistent 6 DNFs from 6 races. That is not the record you want in league racing. He retires, drops back to P18, along with Ollie DeBoy and the Line Cookie. But Red Car Racing showing decent pace again. Mink falling off a bit. Saeed now retires from the session. We'll go on board with Thomas, see what happened to him. We have a safety car here in Interlagos for the third time. Watermelon doesn't box, Gagley doesn't box, BRT JC doesn't box, KP does not box. Nobody is boxing. Go on, take a gamble. Watermelon robbed. Yeah, that's true. That is true. It's going to be tough to hold the lead now, but he does obviously have track position, which can be quite handy around this circuit. So third safety car of the day, and we have a few people at the back coming in for tyres. OTR Jack is one of them. We have 15 laps remaining. OTR Jack comes out on the soft tyres. Rados goes back to his 4-lap-old mediums, and unlike what Ollie did and retired when there could have been a safety car, Thomas, after having to box for wing damage, comes out, but he is with the pack, so he can work with that. Hold on, I'm going to blow my nose. We're back with 14 laps to go. I feel like the safety car's going to go in this one. Is safety car going to be in, or are we going to have one more lap? We are going to have one more lap, so Thomas does not get screwed over. And we have one more lap under the Aston Martin advantage. Safety. So, Watermelon has unfortunately lost the buffer that he did gain from sticking it out. So, he now has a Hungary, Ferrari, esports driver and a Red Bull to contend with, all on fresher tyres than he is. So, he doesn't even have an advantage. Let's see what he can do to survive the wrap of the threat of Gagli. Remember, we are forecasted to see rain at the end of the session, but that might not be true. It doesn't look dark enough at the moment. We still have 13 laps. We are a third of the way through this race. No, we're not. Yes, we are. No, we're not. No, we're not. You fucking idiot. But we will be once the safety car goes in. We'll be 2/3 into this race. I'm not very good at math. We see when Watermelon pulls the trigger. As he slows up the pack. Hopefully he do stay on board. I'd like to see when he does get the jump. He's going to leave it late here. And he's gone. And he gets the jump on Gagli. A decent gap to P2. KP not substantial enough of a tow. But Pampoli and F1 Lewis are going to go side by side. And there's 3 wide going into that first corner. A whole bundle of cars. T. Crombie gets tagged and gets taken out by F1 Lewis. Oh my fucking god. Why can't F1 Lewis race? Just fucking swiped him. Oh my days. That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. But Watermelon has got the jump on Gagli. He also has it on BRT-JC and KP. But BRT-JC tyres are going to be slowing up. Mink is now right at the back of the queue. Oh my god, F1 Lewis, you literally cannot race people to save your life. But the clouds are closing in Interlagos. The grey clouds above us. You can see from the inside camera of Gagli's cockpit. The grey clouds are upon us, and it's looking very much like it did in the sprint race. And will we see some rain to capitalise on this race that has been magnificent so far? The fight for the lead. Can Gagli now take this away from Watermelon? He's going to be using that ERS down into turn 4. Can Watermelon hold the place? It doesn't look like Gagli is going to be close enough, and he survives another day. BRT-JC and KP losing a bit of time to the front two. So KP gets the move around the outside of BRT-JC, who also gets taken out by Red Cow. What has happened to the Alfa Romeo here? He's going to have to defend into the next corner. Red Cow chooses that inside line and keeps the place on the Alfa Romeo. And Watermelon and Gagli are still the 2 cars at the front of the field. And that has majorly helped out KP. That's another car that he doesn't have to overtake. And he can now get onto the back of the 2 cars at the front. We just say 6 different constructors in the top 6. Inclusive community, people. But BRT-JC is going to look for that move and look to catch up to the top 3 again. Can Red Cow defend into this first corner? BRT-JC does not look close enough, and he's going to have to stick behind for another day. I can't remember if that's it. The DRS, I think DRS is active this lap. As BRT-JC does get that wing open, and he is now going to get that move done, as Gagli almost looked for a move there on Watermelon, not the Williams. I don't know whether that was... Not sure, but T. Crombie has spun it again, and on a day that was crucial for the championship for Haas, with both Alpines not scoring, maybe an Alfa Romeo scoring, depending on whether his points count. It is going to be a shame, but go back to the title fight. The title fight, the fight for the lead, as it's 3 different cars separated by 5 tenths at the moment. Watermelon leads for the Ferrari, who leads KP Games. I don't know whether we call him KP Games at the moment, but Gagli is going to look for the outside. And is he going to go all the way around the outside? He cannot get that move done just yet. He's going to look for the undercut, but can't quite get it. I just want to make it clearer. But they are literally separated by 5 tenths at the moment. And good racing between the 3 of them. This is how you actually race people, instead of the shenanigans that happen in the midfield. But F1 Lewis now made his way up into P7. As you see Mink in the background there. And are the clouds closing in fast enough that we will see rain? Or clouds have closed in, but there is still sunlight. Like a weather update. So again, Gagli sticks behind into the centre S, and is he going to look for that exit now? The gap just 2 tenths between the 2 of them. Can Gagli now get the old switcheroo on the centre S, and he's going to go side by side with Watermelon into turn 4. Is he going to get the move done? Watermelon does not stand a chance of that straight line speed of the Ferrari, as Watermelon now gets spun round, makes contact with KP. BRT JC is now back up into P2. I don't think KP has a front wing, and he's lost his front left end plate, and we have a VSC out on track. And there's more drama into the books. Is this going to turn into a full safety car, or is 3 safety cars the maximum? We are under VSC. And KP is going to have to box for that damage, which is going to take him outside of the top 10. So all of his work gets undone here. After making contact with Watermelon, whose car is still intact. The red car racing now leaves the session. He's going to move in like that. KP pulls into the pit lane. We have a weather update from someone. KP gets a new front wing on his car. As I'd like to know when we are going to go back to racing. Gagli now has a lovely gap to BRT JC, who's putting under pressure. I don't know what BRT JC is doing, as he's gone back racing, but he's lost almost 4 seconds to the Ferrari, who now has a great gap to the rest of the field, and he now sits in P1 as Mike gets up into the podium places as Red Car Racing Ghost unfortunately drops down to P5. Josh leaves the session after DNFing. Rados is up into P6. Watermelon, though, is going to look for the move into turn 1. Can he get the move done on the outside of the Williams? And he's just going to drive straight by with the DRS up into P4. Goes Watermelon as BRT JC comes in for soft tyres, as there is rain here in Brazil. I saw raindrops in the pit lane, and we have 6 laps to go, and the rain is starting to fall here on the Brazilian circuit. Don't get too excited, it might not be substantial enough to go to the inters, but BRT JC has taken the gamble and gone onto the soft tyres. It's dropped him back to P10. But there was rain in the pit lane. Yeah, no way there wasn't. Just Gagli getting all over the place on the exit. It's a 1-2 at the moment for I don't know how the fuck it's a 1-2. I swear there was rain. Nah man, I'm not joking. I saw it with my own eyes. I was trying to look so hard on whether that's actually rain. As BRTJC gets the move done on T. Crombie, his next target will be the 3-time world champion. He is going to get the DRS, and this is going to be a battle that continues towards turn 4. He doesn't look close enough for the moment. He's going to have to stick behind, but both on the soft tyres. T. Crombie on the hards, 18 laps old. Was I lying? Was there not actually rain? I swear, someone go back on the screen. That was definitely rain. Oh. No, I swear there was rain. I'm not even, like, kidding. There was rain, I swear. I'm going back on the stream. Wait. Oh, I think I was lying to myself. I can't lie. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Oh, Reese Thomas now has not got a front wing. So we have 4 laps remaining. Now the sun's coming out. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the weather. All I know is it's not raining. Is that rain? Come on, hit me with the rain. I'm so confused as to BRTJC's life choices here. I don't think boxing for the softs was the brightest idea he's ever had. Obviously he's probably never seen rain before. Come on, where's the rain? We have 3 laps remaining. Just going to need to absolutely throw it down if there's going to be change for the lead. But Gagley so far has deserved this victory. Clean racer throughout. Watermelon looking back to get back onto the podium for a place on Mike. Mike is flashing his ERS. 6%. Watermelon 22%, and he's going to look for the move on the outside of the McLaren. And into turn 4, Mike is going to keep his nose in, but Watermelon does get that place done, and he is up into P3. So, great racecraft so far from Watermelon. I believe that incident was KP's fault. But apart from that, it's been a very clean fight at the front. Still no rain. Gagley now has 0% ERS. Why is he pushing so hard? Just hold the victory. KP and BRTJC maybe in a fight, but BRTJC has no ERS to work with. KP has almost 50%. It's going to have to be an absolute send from BRTJC as we enter the final 2 laps of racing here. BRTJC is now flashing his ERS light, and even with the DRS he cannot gain substantial enough to challenge KP. Gasly only has about a lap or so. The clouds have definitely closed in here on the Interlagos circuit. There's Mike. Who the fuck's on Inters? Yeah, not quite Reece Thomas. Mike's still fighting for this podium though, as we are going to enter the final lap. Lap 36 of 36. And Mike is flashing his ERS. Watermelon also flashing his ERS, so he has depleted the battery he had available to him. KP is going to look for a move on the Williams to the outside to take a little bit of grass, but he is not going to get the move done as BRTJC slows down the tyres in the pit lane. Hold up. Fuck. Man, I really thought Ted was after clutch shot. So it will be P6 for him, as there's someone going into the wall, but it doesn't matter for Gasly. He took home the sprint victory after losing at the start. He comes home to take victory here in Brazil. He wins for the first time in Dryline Racing League. F1 Lewis comes across the line to make it a 1-2 from the back of the grid. A great drive from him. Watermelon, after getting spun by KP, finishes P3. Mike, a mere 2.5 tenths back in P4. And a fight to the line as KP and Thomas crash out. Thomas with the 3-second time penalty. They both cross the line. T. Crombie brings it home in a valiant effort of P9. It won't be enough to challenge in for P5 in the standings, but a great drive from him after getting spun by F1 Lewis. It's Mink bringing home P10, rounding out the points for them. Pampoli on the softs in P11. Toyota in P12 for Aston Martin. It's going to be a fight to the line between him and OTR Jack, but he is going to hold out. So OTR Jack crossed the line in P13. And that is Season 3 complete. That is the end. And now the rain comes. Yeah, really, really funny. Oh, it actually started raining as well. But a new winner. The first time in the last race, Ferrari taking home the victory here, and a 1-2 for the Scuderia. Whether that will be after penalties, well, you'll have to wait and see. But first place to Gasly here in Brazil. A great drive from him after holding off an esports driver and a 3-time world champion, as well as a Merc that had pretty decent pace as well. But he takes home victory. F1 Lewis takes home P2. Ferrari are winners in Interlagos for the first time. And there is the grid. Gasly. Sorry, we'll go to this one. Gasly P1. F1 Lewis started last, finished P2. Watermelon P3. Mike in P4. KP P5. Thomas P6. Rados in P7. A valiant drive from the two Williams drivers in P7 and 8. T. Crombie, great drive from him, P9. Mink in P10. Pampoli outside the points, P11. Toyota P12 in his final race for Division 1. OTR Jack 13th. Red Cow Racing P14. Reece Thomas is P15 after going on to the Inters. BRT JC DNF'd on lap 35. Saeed in P17, Josh in P18, and Ollie De Boy P19, and the Line Cookie, the first one out, in P20. That is the end of Season 3. Come back for Season 4 in